Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of FTJ. Today we have some exciting news like Snapdragon coming up with their new chipset, budget smartwatches from Redmi and much more. So before we get started, I am Ananthan.
This is Amartha.
Let's get started.
Guys, it's that time of the year again. Okay, not that time when we get a bunch of new phones because major launches for 2020 have ended. By the way, guys, we are doing the C4E awards on C4E Tech, so be on the watch out for that. But this is the time when Snapdragon actually, not Snapdragon, more like Qualcomm introduces their new chipsets, which we would be seeing in upcoming phones for 2021, right?
Yeah.
So this represents basically a rush of all the Chinese phone makers, especially like Xiaomi and realme. Even all of them are trying to get on board the new Snapdragon flagship, and that is the 888.
Yeah.
So what happened to the 875?
I don't know. This time I think they went for a fancy number with their chipset namings, I guess. Anyways, there are some good improvements with the 888, and they're claiming that it can push up to 144 FPS on smartphones, and that's a good thing because more screens are coming.
We are seeing more and more high refresh rate screens. There's obviously the generational upgrades in GPU as well as CPU performance.
Yeah.
And of course, we have 5G on board because we can't really launch a new processor in 2020 without 5G, right?
Yeah. So most actually, according to reports, Snapdragon is coming out with a X60 5G chip, which is gonna support more bands and it's gonna consume less power because, as we have seen while using 5G on the 865, the battery drain is a little higher on the higher side.
We haven't seen it because
it's
here in India we don't really have 5G.
Fair point, yeah. But still, the general news,
the general consensus is that.
On a different news, Realme is, as you said, is planning to be the first smartphone manufacturer to launch a Snapdragon 888 phone, and Realme is ahead of the race, but we still have other manufacturers like
Xiaomi with the Mi 11,
Mi 11, and Oppo with their Find X3.
Yeah. So there are lots of people in the race. Let's see who ends up coming up with the first 888 phone.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Talking about new launches, Redmi has come up with a new smartwatch, a budget one.
Yeah.
Which costs like $299 yuan, which is $45, which comes up to how much rupees?
So that's basically, somewhere around I would say $45. Okay, so recently I paid $60 for the game, so that's $4.5 grand. So I guess $45 would be somewhere $3.5 to 4,000 rupees.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty much like
it's in the same category as the Realme watch. So it launched in China, of course. So this is basically a rectangular smartwatch, unlike the Mi Watch Revolve. So basically it is an Apple clone. Instead of the crown, we have a single tap switch and a 1.4-inch rectangular display. This is an LCD this time.
And
no AMOLED, of course. So other than that, the features will be Bluetooth 5.1, NFC, IP water resistance up to 50 atomos. So it's a decent watch.
Anyway, moving on from the smartwatch news, we have some software news for you guys, and this comes from WhatsApp. So WhatsApp has been launching a bunch of new features lately, right?
Yeah.
Like the beta version, they launched the disappearing messages, kind of like trying to be Snapchat, I guess. It's not exactly like Snapchat, but in the same way.
It's like a mode that will let you send disappearing messages, like the one in Instagram recently introduced.
Exactly. So basically, we are getting to see, like, instead of WhatsApp, it is becoming WhatsApp by Facebook gradually. And one of the ways they are now letting us customize the WhatsApp UI is by adding wallpapers for every individual user. Moving on to some graphics card news then, and we have leaks of the upcoming 3060 Ti. Now, as the name suggests, it's going to be between the 3060 and the 3070, right?
Yeah.
So the 3060, it is amazing for 1080p gaming, right? It's like absolutely blows it away, amazing frame rates and all that.
Yes.
The 3070, it's more closer to 1440p.
Yeah.
I guess the 3060 Ti is bridging the gap between them.
Yeah.
There is one problem though. You don't have as much VRAM on the 3060 Ti as we have.
Gigs, right?
Yeah, just 8 gigs. So textures at that high resolution, that might be a bit of a problem. But other than that, RTX should be awesome. And hey, Cyberpunk 2077 coming really soon.
We are all
super excited for it.
Amartha has actually applied for a leave, quoting that any day that the Cyberpunk 2077 launches, I need 2 days off. So I guess he's excited for it, right?
Yeah, I'm just a little bit hyped about it.
The next news comes from the business side of smartphones. So Samsung apparently had a great quarter 3 this year. So
they sold twice that.
Yeah, they are still maintaining the first position in the smartphone sales
in terms of sales,
but they have sold twice as much as smartphones as Apple did. So that's a good deal. So what Samsung has done is they have released pretty good value for money mid-ranges the
A series, the M series,
the FE.
Yeah,
the FE and everything was pretty successful. So Samsung is obviously on the top this time, followed by Huawei, even with all the bans and everything. Even though they lost some of the market share, still they are on the top because they are still very successful in China, right?
Yeah.
So in third position, we obviously have Apple. But I don't know, the iPhone sales this year is not...
The iPhone sales this year is not, that wow, because... What you would expect to be the best-selling iPhones is probably the 12 mini and the 12, right? Not the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max. But then they did come out with the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max earlier. And then the 12 mini and the 12 itself came later. So I guess it's more of the flagships selling out a little bit higher the first, but then overall once normalization kicks in, we will see Apple
and also once the holiday season approaches, the sales will go up in the Western markets, right? So Apple might catch up at the end of the year, but still Samsung is dominating at this point. Next news is also from Samsung. They are actually planning to ditch the Note series.
Yeah, that's actually quite a big news, right? I can get what they're going, include an S Pen with their series, but then the Note series, it's been such a staple. So many productivity users depend on the Note. So what do you think of this idea?
It makes a lot of sense because what the Note represented was a big screen and a huge battery life. So, but every phone like the S series and every the S20 and the gap between the S20 and the Note series have been it's basically the same phone with slightly different designs. So it does make sense to remove the S Pen, not the S Pen, the Note series from the lineup and concentrating more on the Z Folds and the Z Flips. So I think it's a good move from Samsung. Let's see how it turns out.
Actually a lot depends on the execution, right? You can obviously have right now we have gone into a dual cycle release for most smartphone manufacturers. Even Oneplus has made it into the Oneplus and the T series. So right now the Note was generally the second half flagship. Maybe right now they feel like the Fold, it's doing so much better. They would like to have it as the commercial second year flagship, second half of the year flagship, with the S20 having the first half. I guess it makes sense. It just everything depends on how well they execute it. And well, speaking of execution, Redmi has apparently killed it with their Note 9.
Not the Note 9 you are thinking about, the new Note 9 series, the 5G Note 9 series, right?
Exactly.
So we are talking about the Redmi Note 9 5G, the Redmi Note 9 5G Pro
and the Redmi Note 9 4G.
4G, So these three phones, they launched in China. We actually covered the video. Here's a card for it if you haven't checked it out yet. And these phones are apparently doing really well. It's actually really good phones with good value for money.
Actually Redmi has done an amazing job here with especially the hardware, and then getting a 108 megapixel camera, a 5G phone, that too under 20 grand. That is amazing.
Next news comes from OnePlus, and the OnePlus buds are apparently failing for some users. So OnePlus has actually responded to the news. The issue is basically some people are able to connect to their OnePlus buds, and even the tap feature and everything, the capacitive features are working, but there is no audio output. So
that's quite serious considering they are supposed to be earphones.
So the problem is, it's not like OnePlus is a cheap earphone. They are they are very competitive, and they are like one of the best earphones you can get from a major manufacturer, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
So these earphones are having a problem. So OnePlus is looking into the issue, and they might come up with an update or something to fix this.
Yeah.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. As of our OnePlus unit, we tried it. We didn't have any issues. Let us know in the comments below if you have any issues.
Exactly. And well, with that, we come to the end of this episode of Talknology. Do let us know again in the comments how you felt about it. As usual, throw us a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. And well, this is Amorto.
This is Anathan.
Saying bye-bye for the week. Have a nice one.